Never work with women. Oh, come on.
Peace. Is it a reasonable concern, if not fear, for men to be mindful of if, when, where, why, and how to interact with women, particularly women they don't know, especially in close quarters, for fear of undeserved consequences? Singer Jason Derulo recently talked about rather bizarre accusations.
She said I sacrificed a goat in a sexual ritual. All people read was the headline, right? And that's all it takes to lose everything.
Subsequently, he joked about never working with women again, and then clarified that he isn't literally not going to work with women again, but he
will never be alone in a room with a woman that I work with, like ever again. What? It's too risky.
Is that a reasonable fear? I recently talked about that and many other topics on the Black Summit podcast with my friend Dr. Veronica. And rather than give you my opinion on it, which I'm sure you can probably guess, here's a little insight from a woman's perspective. Dr. Veronica.
I want to thank the young black man that was in the elevator with me on one of my book tours. He was a young black man. He probably about no more than 19, 20 years old. And he literally, if I showed you a picture of my son, and I showed you a picture of this young man, it was two things different. One, he might have been a little bit taller and he was dark skinned. Right. But he had the locks down to his waist and he was stocky, everything. We were standing out there waiting on the elevator at the hotel. He walked into the elevator first. He realized I was coming into the same elevator. This young man shifted all the way over into the corner. It was just me and him by ourselves in that elevator. And so I'm sitting there, and that's where you got to like build your discernment up about people. Because I knew he was trying to make sure I didn't feel uncomfortable because, hey, he is this tall, dark-skinned. Right. Everything society tried to put against a lot of young black men and play in their face with it. And so he moved to that corner. And now the funny thing was the elevator did this. I swear to God, y'all, this is the door. And I said, damn, I'm glad nobody chasing us. And he bust out laughing. I said, because we be dead. Because I wanted to make him feel comfortable at the same time. Because I recognized he got all that in his head. Telling him, let me make sure this woman feels safe. Let me make sure she's good. But I recognize it as my part, too, to make sure he knows I know I'm safe. That he's good. That there's nothing threatening about him. That he was a great person. All in that thing. And the elevator kept doing this. Even after I talked, I said, bro, we should have ran past this elevator. And he busted out laughing. He had this shy type of sweet laugh, and all I thought about was my son. And I sit there and I was appreciative, and I said, hey, you make sure you have a good night when I get off the elevator, because in that little space of this new generation of men, sometimes we can be putting so much on them to be like, you gotta make sure she's safe, you gotta make sure you ain't the threat, you gotta make sure, when they are just good people. And I wanted to tell him, thank you. I don't know, this was in Florence, South Carolina. He was such a sweet young man in that elevator, but trust me, I'm here to protect you, bro.
We out here.